Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Cepene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Carlos.
And this is Dana.
And today we're going to be talking to Nanette, who's joining us as our guest. She is the founder of a company called Happi Tummi. Hi, Nanette.
Hi, Carlos.
Okay, Nanette,
So
give
great
us
to
your
have you.
last name. Give us your last name because I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it.
That's okay. You could do. It's a tongue twister for me. Nanette Meneses.
Nanette Meneses. Oh, wow. You try to say it fast. It just does not roll off your tongue.
My whole life. I have struggled with it my whole life. So
Damn your parents. Well, you're the founder of like
try
the coolest.
mine, okay?
Carlos Cepene. Nobody ever gets it right.
Never.
Yeah,
I'm good. Dana Arnett. I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so Happi Tummi, you are the founder. Nanette and I have known each other, for those people listening, for probably 3 or 4 years now, and we're in the same business mentor group called Pinnacle Global Network. And Carlos and Nanette and I and Nanette's husband Jim, who is a lawyer, have spent some fun times together. And I love your product, Carlos, and I always discuss your product and how helpful it is. So talk about Happi Tummi and give us the origins of how you help.
Well, and I think it's also relevant to mention that the Nanette is an expert marketer too. She comes from a marketing background. So not only is she the founder, but she knows what she's talking about.
And
today.
she gives us ideas for our business, which is really fun when you're out with her. So
that's great. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us
All
about
right.
your business, Nanette.
Well, thanks. I know I never thought I'd be in this business, starting out as a baby business. So Happi Tummi, really quick, was founded as a result of a necessity, because I had a baby that had colic at 24 hours old. I didn't even know how to spell colic to figure out how to fix it. But bottom line, I developed this product that is all natural external. It's an herbal waistband. And I want to make sure that because I'll explain to you later how all the fun ways that I had the opportunity to make adjustments along the way. So it's an all natural herbal antispasmodic herbs. It's a little herbal pouch that you warm up, you put it in a waistband, you wrap it around, and it's a combination of heat, binding of the stomach, and herbs. Helps calm and soothe the stomach, all the way from babies to elderly. And it's amazing. It works for stomach aches. It works for back aches. It works for...
You did it for yourself. And when you had the baby, like carrying the baby, you made one for yourself. How'd that go?
Well, what I created it was for my daughter, who the doctors just told me to deal with it for 3 to 6 months. She's got colic and nobody knows how to fix it. And I tried all these different things other than drugs. I wasn't going to give her any drugs, and which was the only alternative at that time. And after a lot of research and going to many doctors all the way up the coast of California, I just started experimenting and came up with this product, and it worked. And it kept working. And she slept for the first time after being in urgent care twice in the first month of being born. And then the pediatricians are the ones that after seeing the results that we had with my daughter, and they ended up just saying, oh my gosh, you have to do something with this. You have to do something with this product.
Excellent.
So anyway, as a result,
you made a business.
You made a business out of it. And I think that's...
Yeah, well, we started donating them. The whole purpose was I wasn't going to go back to work, so I thought. And I was donating them to drug babies and orphanages. And and then as time has gone on, it's morphed into using them for toddlers and teens for cramps, and women and adults. And so.
Well, I can tell you, Nanette, I was at a Pinnacle event with you, and I was crying because I had such a headache and my neck was so stressed from sitting all day, and I was worried about stuff. And I called you in your hotel room. I texted you and I said, do you have one in the car? You're like, I always carry them and I do not have one with me. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't get it fast enough by Amazon, so forget it. So, but I ordered one, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we haven't even had a chance to speak yet. I'm going to tell you, putting that around my neck and sitting and working on the computer, it's heaven. I don't know why it's heaven. I don't know why it works. It's not because, oh, it's just because it's something warm on my neck. There are healing properties in there that work 1000%. I love it.
Well,
I
thank
love
you.
it.
Well, you know, it's as a result of you sharing that with me and Tammy, who's also was from Pinnacle, she told me about the neck. I end up having to use it for my neck with my vertigo. They told me after the adjustment that I had to keep my neck straight. And so now we are going to be doing one on videos and sharing with everybody. And we've literally, I'm not kidding you, in the last 2 weeks, we probably had minimum of 5 people that ended up ordering them just because of that. So thank you so much, Dana, because that was a perfect example of people saying that we need to share.
Yeah, that's terrific.
That's
other
great.
uses of Happi Tummi.
So
That's great.
I think what we felt of all this history of Happi Tummi that we've seen recently, especially with your expertise, what we felt was the most hopeful and most helpful for our listeners was to really understand that brands are and brand marketing is not only about putting messaging out there and how you position yourself, but it's also about creating a cycle where you are not only putting message out there and seeing how it resonates, but when you put a product out there, hearing what people have to say about it and all the learnings that you can get from really listening to your customer, more so than being reactive, right? There's a lot of people nowadays that feel like they have to go on the comments on their Facebook ads every 5 minutes and be responsive and just defend themselves against people coming to talk about their brand, which is absolutely not the right way to handle it, but more about really listening to what people are saying, because not only do you get to evolve the way that you're doing your messaging, but in a lot of cases you get to evolve the way that you do your product. So
it's great that you say that, Carlos, because Happi Tummi actually evolved. So I'll just tell you quickly, when I originally developed Happi Tummi for my baby, she had colic. So colic doesn't mean you don't necessarily spit up. And so when I made that piece, it was herbs all in one waistband, all one piece. And when I took it to market and people started using it, I would get a lot of requests on, well, how do I wash this? And I didn't know what they were talking about, because I'm
you
like,
don't wash herbs.
I don't know. You don't wash herbs. And I said, I don't know, take a damn cloth and wipe it down, right? Because I just thought, oh, I got a little something on it, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden I have my son 2 years later with acid reflux, and that was a whole other story. So he starts spitting up and just, it was disgusting, projectile. And I was literally throwing them away like one at a time.
Diapers. Yeah.
And I have to say to you, that was one of my first lessons on listening to your customer. I didn't listen quick enough on that. And so if you think about it, that was 2 years that I wasted, that who knows how many sales I could have gotten, because as a result of that, I ended up immediately creating a herbal pouch that was separate from the waistband so that it could be a removable, washable waistband.
Right.
And that was a perfect example of, it doesn't matter whether I believe that it should be done. It's a matter of me listening to what the customer is asking, or even people's ideas. That product has evolved so much. As a matter of fact, the toddlers came up because people were saying, will this help for potty training? And I said, absolutely. It relaxes their muscles. And then, I'm not kidding you, I would have sold 2 adults for every baby, in which we are now, because I had more adults that would say, do you have a Happi Tummi for adults? Because my husband could really use it. Or, I have food sensitivities.
Or they were stealing their babies, right? They were stealing.
Don't laugh. My niece, who was supposed to go out and start sharing it for babies, she ended up having menstrual cramps, and she ends up calling me and she goes, I need more samples. And I said, why? And she goes, well, I had really bad cramps and I had to take them and use them. I use the herbal pouches. So as a result of that, we created the Happi Tummi for cramps. And I I can't even tell you. I had friends that friends that would be over and they're going, she has terrible cramps. Can you please send me some of those refills? So it really is important to listen to your customer, even if it's not something that falls in alignment of something that you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah.
Another thing I really do too is I listen to the testimonials, and I look at the testimonials that we get, and I look at that and I utilize that to say, oh, okay, what else can I do to improve the product? Which is what I did with the herbs for the adults, because people said it was great for, like you're saying, for example, for the neck, right? Or I had people that said it was great for food sensitivity. So I knew to then change some of the ingredients so that we can enhance it to help people that had IBS, that have Crohn's, people that have had. So by listening to that, it's just has helped us to make the product even better. And then I had people with migraines, like you were talking about, Dana. I've had a couple of people, and so that was also included as to what we changed and added so that it would help that. So,
well, and there's so many uses for it, right? And if you're listening to people, like to me, right as you were talking, I thought about my grandmother, who all of a sudden, she's 92 and has colic problems all of a sudden. I'm like, perfect to send it to my 92-year-old grandma.
This
right?
is incredible for elderly because they're on medications. And that's another thing you said. I had elderly that my father was on Parkinson's medication, and he was a naturopath and everything, and still had a lot of stomach issues. And so then, like you said, we knew now we open it up to the elderly. And so they use it for Alzheimer's patients and caregiver providers. And I would have never even opened up that market had I not listened to my to customers and what people have asked.
Yeah.
And even with it's interesting when you said that, just yesterday I was sharing with a potential buyer, and we just redesigned our website. And the first page, I had been saying it, but I wasn't sure. And I go, what do you think of this? And they looked at it and they said, what is it?
That's exactly what I said. I looked last week. I'm like, or a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, what is it though? I wanted a one-liner.
And that's a perfect example of having to listen. It doesn't matter. Everyone says, look how beautiful this website is. And I said, that's great, but what is it? Is it a pill? Is it a drink? What is it? It doesn't show on the first thing. There's just a beautiful, happy family on there, but it doesn't have the product on them.
Right.
And you and I know that it takes 20 milliseconds for a person to make a decision of whether or not your product is going to be helpful to them.
I know. And that's why you guys are the experts. I can hardly wait to talk with you about Happi Tummi and the Hispanic Latin community.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Why don't you give the URL? Because we've been talking about Happi Tummi for like 15 minutes without a URL. So how do people find the product?
So they find it by going to Happi Tummi, and it's with eyes, happitummi.com, H-A-P as in Paul, P as in Paul, I, Tummi, T as in Tom, UMMI.com. And I'm actually I created a special code for you guys, and it's called podcast.
Nice.
And we will give them a 15% discount for.
There you go, guys.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. Happitummi.com.
You'll probably get your first purchase today from me.
And he's going to put in the discount code, so you better have it set up.
For sure. I'm just going to test it.
They put in that code when they check out, right? They won't see it before. It'll be on checkout.
Yeah, they'll get it on checkout because it's a special code to your listeners.
Perfect. That's a podcast code. So what's next?
I have one more thought about it, just because I want to get your reaction to it. But what about, and this is just for me using it, what about with helping with meditation?
It's incredible.
Right?
It's really good. My son actually has a difficult time sometimes going to go to sleep. And it's because he's so busy on his gamings and stuff. He will go downstairs. He's 14 years old, and he actually warms it up, and it helps immediately calm him because it has a little bit of lavender in there. But the heat, everything starts in the gut. And so even with meditation, if there's anything, people don't even really realize it, but you warm that and put it around your, you can put it around your waist either on your stomach or wherever you have pain area, or even like you were saying, meditation, you don't have any pain. You can put it along your back, around your back. So if depends on how you meditate, whether you're lying down when you're meditating or you're just sitting.
Yeah.
It is very calming and relaxing.
Very calming.
Well, one of the things I've realized, and it's just making me think of this, is I tend to sleep well, but there's times when we're stressed like everybody is, and you will wake up multiple times a night. And I realized that if I took a painkiller before I went to bed, a Motrin or a Tylenol or something, I was able to sleep throughout the night, because the pains, I work out all the time too. The pains that you get at night sometimes are what wakes you up. And
that inflammation,
that inflammation, and that's why it's harder to get back to sleep. So having something like this that can help soothe and calm and relax all of that, even as an adult, right? And I'm not going to say my age, but I'm up there.
You look awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't believe your age is that high up there.
It isn't.
It isn't, but it's there. But I'm just thinking that it has, there's so many healing properties in herbs, whether or not people believe in it or not. There's just, it's unequivocal. There's so much history, which is what people don't know, behind herbal medicine and the origins of the traditional Chinese medicine. And I'll tell you this story because I think it's relevant. A while back, there used to be a place here where you could go and get herbal tonics to help you. It was here in West Hollywood, to help you with sinus pain or vertigo, things like that, just to help with symptoms like that. And the woman, I used to have a lot of sinus pain, and I would go there, and this woman told me this story about the difference between Western and Eastern medicine, where in Eastern medicine, which is all herb-based medicine, the doctors in Asia would have to, their purpose was to keep you healthy, not to heal you.
Cure the sick,
right? So if you got sick, the doctor had to come to your house and hang a lamp outside of the house, letting the entire town know that he had failed you.
Oh.
Wow. So it was a total
It was a
pride
shame.
thing.
It was a shame for the doctor.
That's interesting. I remember hearing about, well, that's one of the things with our product of why it also has such great properties, is because all the herbs come from the country of origin. We can all grow whatever herbs we want in our backyard, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has the healing properties that it does. Lavender comes from France. And so if you smell our lavender, it is so potent and rich with the scent, as opposed to the lavender that you get in areas. There's a special treatment with, with the soils. So you're right. And, I was going to go back to that, is that once again, where you have a lot of those aches and pains and you're saying inflammation in your body, the herbs that we have in the Happi Tummi are herbs that that you can drink. They're herbs that you can drink that actually are anti-inflammatory.
Great.
And so that, even though, you're putting it, you might have aches in your shoulder because of the fact that your gut is what goes directly to the brain. And there's a whole medical science to that. And I don't have to give it to you, but
I love it. It's not just, what's so beautiful listening to you, Nanette, is it's not just a product to make money. I know that was never obviously the intent, as you said, but it's really something from the heart to help people solve difficult. It's so easy to pop a pill.
Well, I think that that's the key point of this podcast today, right? That the reason why people create products is because they have a passion for a specific problem that they're looking to resolve, a specific issue that they're looking to address. And what happens often is that they come out with these products and then they sort of capitulate their responsibility on their marketing companies to come up with a marketing strategy for it, instead of being really engaged. And that's where you lose out, right? Because you're the one that has the passion. You're the one that knows the product. If you're the one that listens to the reaction like Nanette has, and you're open to that feedback, but you're analytical about the feedback, because there's always going to be some passion also coming from the other side, right? If people didn't like it, they're going to give you a reason why they didn't like it. It's more up to you to determine, was this something superficial, or was this something that is defective, or is this something that is an evolution to my product that can really create a whole new brand or a whole new service or a whole new product, or expand my product into new areas of business. And that is one of the key values and ROI of marketing that people are not so focused on.
Yeah. Well, and also I really believe that what you're saying, Carlos, you're so right on, that when I am so close to the product that I need experts like you and Dana to be able to look with the fresh eye, with an expert eye. It's not even a fresh eye, it's an expert eye. You know what works. And, when I get caught up in my thing, I have to completely just surrender.
All of us.
And say, surrender and say, I bow to what you're saying.
And you bring your passion to that conversation.
I bring my passion, and then you guide and say, okay, yes. However, did you ever think of this? I'm like, oh my gosh, something so simple. No, no, I didn't think of that. Because
that's why it's called team, right? Right. Yeah. I mean, marketing that is team. So it. Marketing team. Nanette, it has been such a pleasure to have you on, especially, I know our listeners can't see your face, but just especially to see your bright face. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
HappiTummi.com, HappiTummi.com. And Nanette has been generous to give us a 15% discount for anybody that signs on. And please put podcast when you're checking out. So thank you so much, Nanette.
Thank you, Nanette.
Thank you so much for having me on. I love your show. I've been learning so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nanette.
Thank you for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time. Thank you for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time.